I have a spooktacular video ready for you all, and it's not even Halloween.
Wait, is that even legal?
But who's gonna find out? Greetings, fellow Vita fans. This is James with PS Vita at 2 a.m. coming at you once again with another exciting video. And if you're new here and love everything PlayStation Vita, do not forget to subscribe. Today, it's gonna be all about spooky games on the Vita. Because despite what many people out there think, the PS Vita actually does have a decent lineup of scary games. Sometimes not for the right reasons, but they're still terrifying. But today, we're gonna be talking about traditional horror. And a special thank you to the Patreon and YouTube membership supporters of this channel. They helped choose this topic for the weekend. I covered that up pretty well. What are some of your favorite horror games on the Vita? Let me know down in the comments section. Alright, let's begin. And you can't have a traditional horror game segment on the Vita without talking about this little gem, Yomawari Night Alone. Which, when you think about it, the title alone is pretty scary. Always the sign of a great game. Yeah, except for when it isn't. So the story for this one is pretty straightforward, yet bizarre at the same time. You play as an unnamed little girl. It's always the quiet ones, man, I tell ya. Who is taking a quiet evening stroll, which turns into the worst as a tragic accident befalls the little girl and her dog, with the dog seemingly disappearing. When her sister goes missing later on in the night, the little girl decides to venture out into the eerie darkness to search for her loved ones, both the dog and her sister, and then finds out that her town is seemingly haunted. And yeah, that's pretty much the story for this one. We don't really find out what's going on and why the town is haunted exactly, or what it really even has to do with the missing dog or her sister. Or maybe there were some metaphors in there and I just didn't get it. Wouldn't be a first for me. It's a title that focuses more on its spooky atmosphere than any sort of compelling story. And I'm happy to say that this game has some spookiness in spades. And you wouldn't expect it from, you know, a little seemingly cute, innocent looking chibi game like this. But it does. You pulled a bait and switch on me, game. I thought we were going to be passing out candy here for a sec. So this game plays similar to other titles in the genre, such as Outlast, for instance, where you don't have really much in the way of an offense in this. It's just you and your flashlight. What could be more spooky than that? And whenever you do see a ghost, you really have little choice in the matter but to run away. I mean, they're ghosts after all. There ain't no camera obscura to save you in this one. All the while trying to find certain objects you can hide behind. Yep, it's a horror game all about hide and seek. And I actually really enjoy that about the gameplay. It certainly does add to the terror. But you do have to be very careful because if you run too much, you start to get tired and the ghost will eventually catch up with you. I can definitely relate on that one. I get the exact same way whenever I'm chasing down the ice cream man. He doesn't look forward to my presence. And believe me, some of these ghosts can be pretty fast. That, along with the very spooky atmosphere, Yomawari Night Alone is certainly a little gem. Okay, so just like Yomawari, it wouldn't be a true horror segment on this channel if we didn't talk about Corpse Party Blood Drive. Something tells me there's going to be some corpses in this, and maybe even a party, but probably not the kind you want to go to. However, unlike the Yomawari title, this one emphasizes more on story over gameplay, but there is quite a lot of gameplay to this as well. You play as, who would have thought, Japanese high school kids. At least I think they are. Oh, Japan, you just can't tell the legal age of anybody anymore now, can you? Now, I will admit here, I've never played much of the past Corpse Party games, as in very little at all, and from what I can tell, this one does seem to require some bit of knowledge from the previous games because they do a lot of callbacks. However, I still enjoyed this very much. The premise is simple. Something terrible happened to a group of students related to a spirit summoning ceremony. A girl named Ayumi feels responsible for their deaths that resulted as she suggested they take part in this ceremony. Yeah, you think it might not be a good idea to mess with the dark arts. Just saying. After being informed that she could potentially revive those who died and relieve herself of said guilt, Ayumi returns to the school to, well, do so. Some deeds you just can't undo, Ayumi. Now, once you get into the actual gameplay, you're gonna find out that this game is more about presenting you with a spooky premise of what you don't see rather than what you do see. But don't worry, you'll still see plenty of blood and questionable character positions. The game is rated M after all. Or who knows, maybe it's just red paint. You'll hear eerie noises, footsteps in the background, and will be hinted at violent things happening in the background without you actually seeing them. along with while you're searching for certain items to solve puzzles in order to progress, you will have to traverse the spooky looking school, through different corridors of the classrooms, all the while occasionally getting chased by ghosts and ghouls who, well, they want you dead. Pretty much like every video game ever made, am I right? And honestly, I kinda like that about the game. It tries to spook you with what you don't see, and that's something that you don't see very often in a lot of horror titles these days. You know, with all the heads lopping off and whatnot. Mortal Kombat, this ain't. Now for the negative parts of this game, and for anyone who has played this title, I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm gonna say. The load times. The freaking load times. Oh boy, are they ever atrocious. And scarier than anything else you'll find in this game. They are quite long and even persist when you're simply trying to access a menu. Yes, you heard that right. Whenever you're trying to look at your inventory and whatnot, there's actually a lengthy load time for that. That, along with the character models looking a little bit more on the cutesy side, might take some individuals out of the experience. Waifu pillow owners only need apply in this category. So I'll admit, in my opinion, this is a fun experience on the Vita, but not one that comes without fault. It is a clear love letter to J-horror fan games of decades past, incorporating common horror tropes while also presenting its own fresh ideas, even if some of those ideas do fall flat. It is rough around the edges, but I still feel that any Vita-owning horror fan should at least give this one a try. Okay, so here's a game I don't hear a lot of people talking about on the horror scene. Dying Reborn. It even has a little dying fish as a mascot. That's pretty cool. He's kind of cute in a terrifying kind of way. Also, I don't think that's how the situation works. Thinking outside the box now, aren't we, devs? Okay, so I will say one thing right off the bat here. Within 5 minutes of you booting up this game and starting to play it, you're gonna get some heavy Saw vibes. As in, yeah, you know, the movie. Not the actual game that came out a while back, which was terrifying, again, for the wrong reasons. You're gonna find yourself trapped in a room with these kind of creepy looking like tube TVs, which makes retro gamers such as myself salivate, along with very decryptive messages on the wall. Yeah, it's pretty apparent at this point that this game has absolutely no inspiration from Saw whatsoever. Yeah, or at least back when Saw was actually good. Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna get some hate comments for that opinion. So you play as some anonymous dude guy, I guess, and you gotta look for your girlfriend or something. And of course, you wake up in a mysterious room with no memory of how you got there. Hey, at least give them credit. The dude doesn't have amnesia or anything like that. And of course, as the game progresses, you're gonna slowly but surely find out just what is going on, and there are around 4 environments for you to explore, whether it be an abandoned apartment complex, restaurant, stuff like that. Very grounded in reality, the same exact way that Saw was. And the puzzles in this game are kind of tried and true. You gotta find certain items, keys, whatnot, in order to unlock doors or find passwords to certain locks. There's not a whole lot in the way of enemies in this title. It's really just all about the puzzles and the foreboding atmosphere that you find yourself in. The game shouldn't take you too long to finish. I'd roughly estimate maybe around 3 hours or so, unless you're really bad with puzzles like me, which in that case it'll take you an eternity. So it is a little bit on the short side, but if you are in fact a fan of the Saw series and enjoy puzzle-like horror games, this is one that, again, I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Short, but fun for what it is. Alright, that was a fun romp through PS Vita horror. I tried to choose some titles that don't get a lot of discussion these days. And I know many individuals out there were probably expecting me to choose the likes of Resident Evil Revelations 2 and whatnot, but I wanted to try and give some love to the unloved. Even if Corpse Party is unloved for, you know, kind of the right reasons. Anyway, that will just about do it for my list for this segment. But guys, I'd love to know, what are some of your favorite horror games on the PS Vita? Make sure to tell me down below. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. This video has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous Patreon and YouTube membership supporters who help make this content possible. So a huge thank you goes out to Mackie Curry, Shin Snake, Alani Wazuk, Zikrito, Randy Azudech, Airkick72, Samai241, Meshuga360, Withorga, Reiko Star, Matt Fox, Bushin Ryu Cat, Jimmy Gilby, Chris Foxhound, Jamie, PSP Guru, Milk Sama, Neo Arashi, Lacerated87, No Good, Aridri, Franz Hartle, Sabin Fire, Mazgus, Tasha Monty, Eric DeWitt, Juan M. Hermosillo, That Bro, Kayonko, Hector Gonzalez, Cham Plow, Ricardo Martinez, Donut Valley, Nintendo Switch at 2 a.m., Azumara, 1488 Dental, Rizal Pliskin, Buzz Sayan, David Ray, Wendy K, Hemdahl Imbert, Gutter Drums, Sculpture Tugel TCG, Adam Thury, Thomas Cromet, Patnos D, JR, Kyle Brooks, Saul Ramirez, Phantom XRS, Rodrigo Vera, Crazy Cat, Heston Joseph, Kevin Enright, Jared Hado, VG Legends, Clayman Malarkey, BMF, Michael O'Connor, H-Hitter, Jelle, Joseph Shavak, Richard Cruz, PS Vita S, Adam Sondi, and Hero Acer. If you would be interested in supporting the channel and gaining access to a number of perks, including having your name featured on the end credits of these videos, or if you wish to remain anonymous, that can be provided too, then make sure to check the links down in the description below. I have numerous ways for you to do this down there. Can't support in this manner? Don't worry about it. I also have some affiliate links from both Amazon and PlayAsia for anyone who is interested in purchasing something from them. Basically, the way it works is so long as you use one of those links to just access their website, then anything you purchase afterwards, a small commission will go to help support this content at no extra cost to you, the consumer. I also have channel merchandise available, and of course, as always, likes and shares can help equally as much. Hey, so I'm curious, what parts of this video do you think were the most terrifying? Other than my voice, I mean. I personally would have to say, the load times on Corpse Party. Yeah, I think we all saw that coming.